Can't believe you lot are Smashville. Brilliant.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you people watching ain't feeling as rough as me and Greg are, because we've been up all bloody night. So yeah, you better thank us for this, lads, getting up and doing this for you. Especially fucking all for Tottenham, this, eh?
I know. Jesus. He still managed to get his hat on, though.
We're not worth. He sleeps now. That's stuck there.
Yeah, he don't take it off, mate.
Well,
he used to play football now as well.
Just had to take it off. I was like Paul Lynch just as we were walking out the tunnel.
Yeah.
So this morning, I nearly said tonight. Then fucking struggle already. This morning it's me and Greg and Matty, and we're joined by Gareth Graham, who a lot of you may have already seen on the podcast. He came on for an interview about his career a couple of months ago, and Gareth's a big Spurs fan. So yeah. Just first thing, mate, before we sort of get into today's game, ESL, European Super League. What was your opinion when the news broke? Your immediate reaction and sort of going through to the fallout of it all breaking down as well. What was your thought?
My first reaction was, how the hell were Tottenham invited in the first place? same with Arsenal. It just goes against everything that the game is for me. It was just, I don't. It shows you how far away those owners are from the fans. The fans would never have wanted this. You put a poll out, obviously you've seen the reaction from it, but you put a poll out, there would be probably 1%, and that would probably be the foreign fans, because they don't see enough of it. Yeah, the British game is built on what it is. Obviously, it's its history, and that just takes everything away from it. I couldn't believe it when I read it. There's obviously been murmurs over the last probably 3 or 4 years, but I never thought it would happen. I never thought it would go off the ground, and they actually go that far and make steps was just ridiculous. So it was absolutely ridiculous. And it was a shock, real shock for me. Like.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone was in the same boat with it, mate. It was it's a shambles, to be fair, wasn't it? The whole idea. It didn't sort of get off the ground. It didn't last long. But what do you sort of think? Because we sort of discussed it a little bit on our podcast last week. We was actually filming as it all like disbanded, so we were sort of getting our live reactions as it goes. I was like fucking Jim White on the old blower.
Did Peter on Wingley turn up in the car?
Fucking at the door, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Best moments ever.
And so, what do you sort of think, punishment wise, if at all, should happen? Because personally, from my point of view, and the boys actually agreed with me, even though their teams were involved in it, I think there has to be some sort of severe punishment in order to stop any future plan, because otherwise they're just going to go back to the drawing board, surely.
No, exactly. I think there should be massive fines. I think points deduction would probably be a little bit too much, obviously. And first Spurs went down, they'd probably never get up. Imagine relegating the 6 of them. Spurs have no chance. Spurs would be in League One before we know it. But yeah, I think a massive fine. But again, I think Arsenal have come out this week and said if they do get fined, obviously, I think that it's not going to be the club that's going to pay the hit. It's going to be the Geezer Kroenke's firm. So,
well, that must be the first payment he's made.
Yeah,
yeah, it probably will be.
But I think the people involved should take some sort of the brunt of it. The people who are involved in all this, because again, the Chelsea thing, I don't think Abramovich knew too much about it. I think it was that Bruce Buck. So again, he obviously knew about it, but he probably wasn't involved. Didn't know the whole repercussions that we're going to have. And again, I'll go back to what I said. I think it shows how big the distance is between these people who are running clubs and the actual fans who are the clubs at the end of the day. Yeah, but I think there should be some sort of fine, whether it be obviously ban them from being the chairman or on the board of any football club for amount of years or even lifetime, because again they're totally going against the moral high ground of football. Yeah, what they try to do. And we obviously spoke about Rangers and Celtic. That's the exact same thing, and they're bringing them into the English game. That would ruin Scottish football.
It's been mentioned a few times.
That's been said this week. Oh my God. No, it's just not right. It's not the way British football works. It's not the way it. No. And again, the one thing it all falls down to is money, isn't it?
Money. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the way the game has gone over the last. And again, Sky or the Premier League are no sort of angels in this. They started by breaking away into the Premier League for me. And although that has been great for the game, it's like we used to watch football on TV. The FA Cup was the biggest day of the year, wasn't it? Where you sat down with your friends or family and watched the whole FA Cup unfold on BBC One from 9 o'clock in the morning, didn't you? The whole build up.
Yeah.
Now it's just a little bit. It's
not what
it's a little bit too much because again the money's involved and people are worrying about the Premier League more than the FA Cup, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's 100%, mate.
It just shows like what you were saying, Ginger, about the gap between. It's not only the fans though. You look at how Jurgen Klopp was sort of left out to dry against Leeds. Obviously, it broke like the day before, and then he's gone. He's the first manager to hit the cameras, and they're asking him, and he's like,
"Hasn't a clue."
Well, we didn't like it either. Even as players and managers, they were consulted. So it just shows the gap between not only the fans, it's the players. It's literally just the owners looking for this.
Yeah. And again, it's down to the money, isn't it? I thought Klopp and the two boys, Milner and Bamford, were really, really good.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously, it's your employees. You're saying something detrimental against your employees, so it's a hard one to be in to go.
It could easily be a breach of contract and everything. If they start going, we ain't going to play.
Exactly.
They're actually losing their as much as what they think and what they would want to do. If they was actually breached their contract, you've got to think of it. That's their living. All right, they've had a good living through football and whatnot, and that's part and parcel. But it's like us, if we was to go against our employers, we lose our job, and then what?
Yeah.
And then how do we pay bills? How do we go about life? Like, so you think about it that way. They are in a really Milner's at the end of his career. Get that, but like Bamford, Henderson, they're not at the end of their career yet. Like they've still got a career to play, and it's like if they lose their jobs.
But again, I don't think maybe that club would actually hold it against them. I don't think other clubs would, and I think from the point of view, if I look at it from their point of view, I think they know the reaction that obviously it would have got, and I think they were quite ballsy. They were still ballsy in what it did, but I don't think it would have got that far. I don't think so.
I think it is a mad one, isn't it? Because of like they're talking about this whole football reset and that now. It is only driven through the money, and it is the money that the players are getting and the agents are getting, and how the broadcasters and UEFA and everything are distributing money in that now. It's all a product of what's happened in football that's created this and wanted them to go and get more money.
Yeah.
But you can't blame the players and that for that. This is just what's happening in football. They're the ones with the money. They're the ones driving it up like that.
Yeah.
But it probably is time for a reset of somehow. But how do you do that when players are in contracts?
Yeah.
You can't just tell them you're getting paid this at the minute and then, sorry, lads, like you're going to have to take a proper cut because football's just changing.
And again, if clubs want to develop, they're going to have to get the players they want in, and they're going to have to pay for that, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's the way, obviously, the world is gone. The football world is gone. I do like the idea of maybe capping or having something like that. I think they do it in the NFL, don't they? But again,
a relative
franchise. I hate franchise, but
relative to where you are as a statutory club and stuff like that.
Yeah, but again, the FFP it hasn't really worked because if you look at all the Spanish clubs, PSG, they can't be making the revenue that they're paying some people. If you listen to what
massive
they read,
debt, isn't they?
Yeah. And again, that's the biggest driver in all of this for me. I think they see an easy way out of getting rid of their debt. I've heard rumours about the Spanish government bailing Real Madrid and Barcelona.
All the time. Yeah.
Real Madrid have been doing that for years.
Yeah, and again, he's the biggest driver. In Perez.
You see Barcelona. They're
Tottenham are
their fans part of the ownership, aren't they, at Barcelona and that, and yet they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. And yet they're in £1 billion debt.
Yeah.
So it's where does it all go? Where does it all stop? You know, like, because they're talking about this 50 plus one, but yet they're a fans driven club, and yet they're in £1 billion worth of debt. So does it help?
Yeah.
But then that's you know, Lionel Messi's fucking wages for the week.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Back to sort of what we were saying as well with the punishments, Gareth. One of the guys in the comments has put that he thinks the fans could handle relegation if that was sort of one of the punishments that they put across. And to be honest, from a lot of what I've heard from a lot of people, I think that people would even swallow that.
Yeah. Again,
I don't think most would, but
no. To be fair, again, I'm talking as a Spurs fan. I would swallow anything because we deserve it.
Yeah. And I like that attitude, and I think everyone's got that really.
But I think as a club would suffer massively because again, only 3 come up from the championship. So there's 3 out of 6. Then you've got the next year, and then again, there's some really, really good clubs in the championship. It's a lot different football in the Premier League, and if you get relegated, you lose players.
Yeah,
it's hard to attract players.
Also, you've got this with Spurs, with the amount of money that they forked out for the stadium. That stadium is one of the best stadiums in the world. I would go that far to say, with the retractable pitch for the NFL. Spurs just couldn't recover financially from being relegated. It would be, I hate to say it, but like a Leeds. It would go even further down the way. I think Spurs would just tumble. All their best players would leave. They'd have to change the wages. It would be catastrophic for those clubs.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the arguments. I think that especially from my point of view, Leeds fans have got, because I've seen a lot of pundits sort of put across that it's not really fair on the fans and people that haven't been involved in this decision to be punished for something that a couple of fucking top brass guys at the club have decided to go through with. We suffered 16 years because of decisions that a guy at the top of our club made.
Yeah,
so that's how we're looking at it. It's sort of fucking tough shit. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what you get for having a dickhead owner.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if you look at it from the players' point of view as well, obviously you say the players will leave. So the biggest, I think, obviously you heard on my pod, the biggest achievement I think in my career was playing from country. It might have been just 21s, but if they're stopping them playing for the country, stopping them doing all this, what do you do as a player? You probably earn the big bucks at the thing, and then again, it actually affects the national game. If their players are playing in this league, they can't play in the UEFA competitions or FIFA competitions. As a player, you've got no say. You've got even less say than you do at the minute as a player. You know what I'm saying? And it's a real tough one. And that's why I'll never got off the ground.
For the punishment side of it, is a fine line, because if you affect the players too much, it wasn't really their fault. And the fans, it wasn't really their fault, but we're just having to deal with it because if it's our clubs.
Yeah, and again, that's why the clubs and the individuals should be punished. I think. Again, I've seen in Spain that they say the reputational damage that Barcelona and Real Madrid have suffered already is enough. And I'm like, it's not.
No,
it's not.
No, it isn't at all.
There has got to be something done, but again, who comes up with that? Because we all know and we all see that football is not run properly.
No, it isn't.
Ben,
you looked at VAR yesterday. Who the fuck brought that in?
Mate.
It's supposed to come in to help the game. It hasn't. It's took the emotion out of it. It's just took everything. You will be a robot and you'll not be able to tackle anyone now. Like that Valbuena.
You can't, can you? That proved it yesterday.
But if you're striking a ball, you probably won't know Terry before, but if you're striking a ball, I seen you know, there was a guy. He can't be known. No, he's striking a ball. You don't stop straight away, do you?
No.
You follow through. It's a natural. It's
unavoidable. It's unavoidable.
And again, if you slow everything down, which didn't happen 5-10 years ago, it makes things look 10 times worse. I think I'm hoping that I don't think any footballer, whatever level you go in, goes out to hurt anyone. Yeah, but if they do, you can actually tell at the times if they do. That he wasn't getting to hurt Chilwell.
No,
it's a contact sport. There's going to be collisions.
Yeah,
and it splits the game so quick and fast, and the players are quicker than ever. They're on top of you quicker than ever. So the fact that he's kicked it, and then the follow-throughs, it's unbelievable. The fact these people even think that all he's done is just got close to him as he's striking the ball.
Well, so again, if you look at it from Chilwell's point of view, do they want you to stop running, stop closing people down?
Yeah. Hang on. 2 meters.
Yeah.
2 meters.
Or do you do it even quicker so you try and get people sent off? It's just, it's gone. Like the emotion is it's ruined, and that's why obviously who makes the decision on the punishment is probably going to come from there.
This is without fans.
These blokes are fucking idiots.
This is without fans. Can you imagine when fans come back? What this is going to be like?
Well, I was sort of half thinking that yesterday. I said, imagine that stadium being full.
Oh,
there could be fucking riots. It could cause riots, seriously, because
especially
some football fans are idiots.
Like derby games and stuff like that.
Big London derby. Yeah, well, say big London derby.
And again, it changed the game. West Ham were coming into it a little bit. You know what I'm saying, and that send off changed the game again.
And look at the repercussions that could cause. Like you said, say there's a full house in there. So there's all the West Ham fans, all the Chelsea fans are in there. West Ham have never made top 4, never made Europe, never made Champions League. That could cost them it.
Yeah.
So that sort of decision, all of a sudden, everyone's like in uproar, isn't they? And there would be riots.
I talked about VAR on Twitter when it first came in, and it was supposed to actually eradicate mistakes from the game, but it's still coming down to personal interpretation. It's a bloke sitting in front of the computer looking at a different angle. People make mistakes. People make mistakes.
All of a sudden, who's got the sound on?
Greg's gone a little bit robot on us, I think.
Yeah, he is.
But it's still an individual decision being made, and it's being made incorrectly, unfortunately. Referees made mistakes before, and that's why they tried to bring it in. I don't think it's worked. I think they just got to fucking put it in the bin and just
they were making
let people make mistakes.
Ginge. They were making genuine mistakes on the spot decisions, and now they're not even allowed to make decisions. It's like, oh, hold on, VAR are checking that. Oh, actually, we can't decide. So can you go and decide? You look at a second look, and then it's like, well, you should have been making that decision on the first look.
Yeah. And like you said, when they slow everything right down, and all of a sudden a foot is hitting him high, and it does look bad. But anyone who's actually, when they played the quick version, like the standard real time, anyone who's played the game knows that there's no fucking like malice involved there.
It's not.
Yeah, but you knew when he's jogged over to the monitor, you know that's game over. You know you're going to send him off. But having seen it, you don't know what's being said in his ear. But anyone would know that's not a red card. Anyone would know.
And they do it in Australia, don't they? They actually, you can hear them talking. You can hear them saying, and that's the way forward. They do it in rugby. Is it rugby union as well? They can hear them talking and having conversations. I'm saying, and that's all we. But at the end of the day, it's not all we want because we don't want VAR. But if you can hear why people are thinking it, then you can put a little bit of rationale around it and go.
You want to hear the reasoning, don't you?
Yeah. Because anyone in the right mind, if I'm sitting in that thing looking at that, I said, look, this is a knuckles challenge. Obviously, it looks bad, but he's just struck the ball there. That's it. End of. Maybe yellow card. I didn't think it was yellow to be fair, but
no,
it's if you can hear people saying that, or say, I think it's if someone's going up for a header and he has a little look at him, then fucking swings nail bottom. Yeah, that's definitely a setting off, isn't it? But if he's jumping with his arms, you have to have leverage when you jump. It's you can tell. You can definitely tell when people go in to try and hurt someone.
The John Stones ones the other day. He is literally a split second late. Yes, he's a bit rash, but that is a booking all day and just get on with the game.
Yeah.
Never a sending off.
No. And again, it's
just one of them where he's mistimed it. It's a forward going up against a centre back that they've come running in from like 20 yards away. It's a foot race, and he's just got there. And it's middle of the park. That is a booking all day. Like everyone in football kind of knows that. But it just said, oh my God, he's rolled around. I better send him off. You know?
I'd be fucked in the game now. Like I lost every foot race ever, I think. So I'd be sent off every week.
You and me both, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you played against Greg.
I was
Yeah.
when I got to the ball first, I was buzzing.
Just a quick question about going back to the Super League. I don't want to murder this with the Super League too much. Don't you think the emphasis is being taken away from the fact that this is a sport rather than a business?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you lot feel, but obviously with Corona and that, and having no fans there, I'm finding football a bit of a hard watch these days. I thought that would be something I would never ever say.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Arsenal are jank at the minute, and that don't really help. But it's just like I'm sitting there. I'm not as enthusiastic as I used to be. It's just the VAR thing is just a whole new ball game. But what do you think? What do you think it's going to be like in the next 2 or 3 years?
NFL.
Yeah.
Start 6-hour games because they're just checking everything.
And that's exactly
People
what I said about VAR when it first came in. If VAR is sponsored by fucking XYZ, isn't it? Because it'll all become monetized, and it has gone that way, unfortunately. And again, that's why it needs to be scrapped. For me, I
totally
but
agree.
it won't be though. It won't be because again,
you
you've got
imagine,
fucking Coco the Clown and Ronald McDonald sitting above and going making these decisions.
Players of old, if they was to play nowadays, we used to love football as it was, hard hitting, characters, just literally all over the pitch. Can you imagine them playing now? How ruined they will be.
Yeah. They wouldn't be able to do anything.
Nah.
Vinnie Jones would be sent off every week.
But the thing with it as well, though, there's no consistency, mate, because it's not even like every bad tackle is punished and every tough challenge is punished. Some of them are horrendous and go under the radar, and then some that are innocuous and nothing in them, like the one we was talking about, and like others that have happened get punished. Like we've got one in the comments. A guy was saying it's obviously a Leeds fan. He's saying about Rafinha, who got taken out in the City game. Fernandinho smashed him towards the end, high up on the thigh. He's missed the next 2 games. He's out again today. There's no punishment there. He got away with it.
He should have been booked about 4 times before that as well.
He what?
He should have been booked about 4 times before that as well.
Exactly. And then Liam Cooper, who for me, that I don't think that was a red card against City. Again, it's the same sort of thing. He's cleared the ball and he's follow throughs hit the fella. Yeah. He gets a 3 match ban, and Jesus didn't even get touched. It's like, how's that work?
But that's exactly right. And to be fair, it's even some of the things that they choose to look at. How can they choose to look at one thing and not the other? Like if you go back to again the Spurs penalty last week, in that scenario to lay up the penalty, it hits Alderweireld's hand.
Yeah.
If Reguilón would have just smashed it in the top corner, that's disallowed. On the rules of today.
Yeah.
But it led to the penalty, so it's not a penalty. There's little things. Again, it's both. It's the rules and VAR are both fucked.
Well, look at that goal yesterday against Liverpool. Callum Wilson. How that's given as a handball.
That's horrendous.
He's through on goal.
You must have been happy with that.
Over the moon, yeah.
Yeah, but they got what they deserved. I'm not even joking. That is their just reserves, mate. They're deserved because
I was happy for Brucey, to be fair. Shame Joe Linton didn't score though. You
were Linton?
It's a shame, isn't it?
Praying for Joe Linton.
He's still out in his own plan. He still won't fucking score him.
Going back
to 1-1 yesterday. He went through 1-1, and the commentator was like, "He just lacks that half a yard pace." I was like, "Fucking that's
the rest."
Yeah.
And the ability,
and a first touch,
and a shot. Fucking, he's jank.
But that
40 million as well, you know.
Going back to VAR, right? Obviously, I'm going to complain more because I'm an Arsenal fan. But I mean, come on, that one against Everton, I'm still scratching my head how they've given that back for offside. He's let Pepe stand there with the ball, ready to put it down for a penalty, and then they're rolling. Even when you look at the line, I still can't see it. Even Arteta said he watched it 10 times. And it just, how are you coming to that decision? And that's killed us. Obviously, the error is horrendous and we've ended up losing the game. But this just can't be happening every week. It can't.
Obviously, what are you talking about?
What?
And again, it could, like years gone by, they used to say, give the attackers the benefit of the doubt. The VAR doesn't do that, does it?
No, it certainly don't.
Like your armpits are offside. It's offside. That's a load of bollocks.
Yeah,
but we could probably do you could probably do about 100 shows on this and
exactly,
talk about
mate.
different things. It's ridiculous. And I think they've tried to make it quite black and white in certain areas, but again, the black and white's not.
No,
it's not the right black and white. If you get me,
it's not. No,
because that penalty isn't the handball and things. Yeah, if it hits your hand at all, like again the Callum Wilson one, there's things that you just go fucking. He doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
Have you noticed now when crosses come in? Like, when would you have ever seen this back in the day? That defenders are actually standing with their hands behind their back. I mean, how are they've lost balance, they've lost focus.
You can't defend.
They're so shit in themselves that they don't want to handball it. It's crazy. Crazy.
And to be fair, that actually gives the attacker a little bit of an advantage because you yourself, if you drop your shoulder, because you do need it to balance, you need your arms to balance, you need your arms to jump.
You can bend it around a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
You saw that on the continent a lot, didn't you? Like
years gone by, you did, yeah.
And we as a country, I don't know about everyone else, but I used to say, why are they defending like that? That's pathetic. Like, but because that would get given as free kicks, like handballs, whereas in our league that would just get given. It's unintentional. Whereas now they're doing that because it's touched his arm, handball. Like
I think in Spain any handballs are booking as well.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Which again. So Callum Wilson's fucking getting a goal chalked off and getting booked.
And say he's already got a yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye-bye.
Exactly. And then he misses the next game. So there's obviously knock-on effects of everything.
Joke, isn't it? Well, look, we've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole with VAR anyway.
Ran over.
Yeah, it's easily done. We end up doing it on I think every podcast we've done, we end up at least like 20 minutes, half hour on VAR. But back to sort of Tottenham and build up to today's game, mate.
Can we go back to VAR?
Yeah.
No.
Obviously, the gaffer ended up getting the tin tack this week as well. What's your thoughts on that? And I don't know if you've seen
the WhatsApp thing.
Yeah, the Jamie Redknapp leaked thing, where basically for anyone who's watching who hasn't seen it, he sort of said that there's levels in his contract of where he was in the league, he'd get certain payouts. So if he was in the top 4, he'd have got 30 million. If he was in the top 6, he'd have got 15 million or whatever. But because he's outside the top 6, they could have paid him off with a couple of million. What was your sort of thought? Do you think it was the right decision to get rid of Jose? And do you think, like moving forward, who's the man to come in, really?
To be fair, I've always been a Jose Mourinho fan, but not the way he plays.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I think on the one, again, the timing for me, but again, with that coming out, makes total sense. The timing for me, because I still today would put money on Jose in a one-off game to come very, very close. So it's just the way he sets teams up, and because he is very, very negative. And unfortunately, I think he become even more negative because we can't defend. No, it was basically that. Again, if you look at the teams he had, obviously with Inter Milan, Chelsea, Real Madrid, he had good defenders.
Yeah.
He had good defenders. So he could play maybe one holding midfielder, but he was actually playing fucking 6 at the back with a 2 in front. And it just became so hard to get the transition when you did win the ball back to the front.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good Kane and Son and Gareth Bale on his day are, it's tough to make that transition if you're not high up the pitch. And unfortunately, the way we play. So again, it's maybe him being a little bit of the dinosaur, because I think any good manager will look at the cards he's got and deal them accordingly to get the best out of him. He can't just be because I think I would go the other way, keep it away from them fucking idiots at the back and try and attack. The old Ozzy Ortiz when we had him winning 7-5 and things like that. Because that's what Spurs fans are used to. We used to play attacking football, and unfortunately, when things are going well, like they were up to November, he can get away with it. But when things start to turn, then he can't. He can't as a football fan. You don't mind losing in the right way, but losing the way we were playing was becoming fucking ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it was becoming absolutely ridiculous. And again, it's because he's setting the way. I do think he is a little bit of a dinosaur. I think football's evolved a lot, and it's quite interesting because at Chelsea, everyone talks about him being a really, really good manager. I even think that's gone. And for me, that's twofold. I think, one, the players have changed.
Yeah.
And two, he hasn't. He hasn't changed. He probably tries to tell people a few home truths, whereas players gone by would probably went, yeah, he's actually fucking right. You know what I'm saying? He's right. But players nowadays go, oh, he's having a go at me, and sort of curl up and go the other way. Yeah. So I think as a manager, you've got to manage people more than ever in today's day and age. There's still some players that you can say, oh, you need to fucking liven up. But there's the majority of them, you need to put your hand around them and tell them how good they are. No matter if you think different, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They get the best out of them. And that's the way the game's gone, unfortunately.
Yeah. Go on, Matty.
I was just saying, with Mourinho, like, I agree with what you're saying. One-off game, you probably want no other manager, I would say, to take them into a cup final. But with the form that Spurs were on, and obviously if it made a difference to getting rid of him now with what they're having to pay him out, makes complete sense. But I think with regards to today's game, it's still a cup final, Gareth. You know, it's a one-off game. You just don't. Is Kane fit?
I don't know. It doesn't sound, and they will do. I think Mason, he's going to be cute. He's going to leave at the last minute. He's not going to deal his cards.
I still think Spurs have got a chance. I don't think it's just a total foregone conclusion that City are going to win.
But again, the last two times that we've beat City at home and in the quarterfinal, Kane didn't play. Kane didn't play in either of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he didn't. The Champions League quarterfinal, and I didn't think he played in any leg. And the one when Bergwijn made his debut and scored, Kane didn't play either.
Yeah.
So they have to be an off day for me. They have to have an off day, and they very rarely do. They did against, obviously, against Leeds, but I think we've got to attack them.
You ain't got Stuart Dallas though. So
yeah, I know. What a legend Stuart is.
You've got the players to hurt them, especially in the forward areas.
Yeah, and that's why you've got to play to your strengths at times, because I still think their fullback can be weak defensively. I think Diaz has made a massive difference to them in the centre. But I still think you can't get at them.
You can.
You can rattle the two centre midfielders. I think we need to be mobile in centre midfield. So I think again, you also need to try and keep the ball against City. So if he plays Sissoko, but I think we have to be mobile. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for Højbjerg and Winks, because I thought Winks did all right when he came on. Although again he's been off form, but I think I spoke about it in the last pod. Football's all about confidence.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And if the manager's telling you or not giving you that confidence, which Mourinho clearly didn't with a lot of the Spurs players, then you're not going to take it onto the field. And I think Ryan, I liked him as a player. I thought he was
good player,
average-ish, but he gave it all that, and I think we need to give it that more than Man City do today. A little bit, I'm touching my heart, by the way. I've seen it. I did no reactions, but yeah, I think we need to give it a little bit of polish, because that'll win us the game rather than trying to beat them at their own game, because they're special.
Do you think the fallout for the way Mourinho left, and he's clearly going to have brought some of them players' confidence down? Because apparently I read, I don't know how true this is, didn't he have a 4-hour discussion with the players?
Yeah, after exactly.
I mean, what would be the point? I wouldn't even see what the point of that would be.
But again, I'm a big Mourinho fan in the way he is and what he's done. You can't knock that. You know what I'm saying? What he's done in the game, you can't knock it at all.
Yeah,
and again, unfortunately, some players can't take that. But I actually like that. As a person, and no matter what of life, you need to be told a few home truths every now and again to get better. But if they think it's criticism, then...
But given how close this is to Spurs playing in the final, and that fallout was only... I mean, getting the victory against Southampton after being a goal down, that would do you a lot of favours. Because had you have come into that game drawn or lost... confidence on the floor.
And again, I think our first half display was probably one of the worst we've had all season.
I see you on Twitter, Ginge.
I just again, and for me, that you only look at one thing. It's players, and again, it could be confidence. But again, I a big believe we've got a lot of dead wood. Pochettino knew it, didn't get backed, and he knew he was getting the maximum out of every single player we had. Squad players coming in, Poch did everything, but he knew to get to the next level, which Spurs fans think we should be, and clearly fucking someone in the Super League does as well. But I just think we needed a big overhaul.
Yeah.
So we did. Once we lost Walker and Rose come out of form, our back four started to suffer. Then Toby's getting on a bit. So Jan obviously got on a bit as well. They all came at the wrong time.
Trippier left and all, didn't they?
Yeah, but again, I don't think he could defend too much, to be fair. Same as Walker, but I think of the way we played. But I just think we need a master. I like the kid Rodon, but he's just cup tied today, isn't he? I think he'll be very good. He's probably old school defender. Like he kicks and heads it, and he can play a bit. But I do think I've seen some clips. I don't know whether it was who did we play before Southampton when we Everton. Some of the clips from fucking Oyer walking about. I'm like, again, we talked about Chilwell yesterday, getting close to people. He was defending from about 10 yards off and fucking not even interested. Whereas Chilwell's in his face, and that's what you've got to be as a defender. You've got to not give. Sorry, go ahead.
He's the strangest fullback, isn't he, Aurier? Because when he was at PSG, he just looked like a. Was it PSG he was at?
Yeah.
He was a beast. The way he used to run up and down the wing, and now his game seems to have totally changed. It's weird.
And again, I think he was like a thing, but I think it's got even worse under Mourinho because he probably didn't want to play for him.
Nah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like Mason will put his arm around him today and go, "You're the best right back in the world," and it gives him a little bit of a lift because that's what you've got to do with players like that. Because he didn't look interested.
Yeah.
And
he's
I think
ticking time bomb as well, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's and that's the thing about our back four and even back five. Because although Loris was brilliant on thing, and I can be his biggest critic, but I think at times we've just give goals away.
Yeah,
and it's the same old situation.
Tell me about that.
It's the same old situation. You don't realize how deflating it is when you're like Arsenal on it, battering them, and then you give that goal away. As a player, you're like, oh, what the fuck have we done here? You know what I'm saying?
It kills you, doesn't it?
It deflates you like you wouldn't believe, and it's hard to come back from that. You know what I'm saying?
We can smash a team for 60 minutes and like 70 minutes, and they'll just go up the other end and score, and we'll lose 1-0. I've never seen anything like it. We do it for fun often, so I'm used to that.
Go on, Greg.
No, I was just going back to what Jim sort of said with Mourinho. Like he's not scared to being like with regards to being a bit of a dinosaur and that. He's not scared to whatever tactic he's using. It's the right one, and if the players don't implement it, he ain't scared to just chuck them under a bus and say, "Well, like that comment he said, same coach, different players." Like he thinks his way is right, and it's still right, which I think is personally wrong. I think he's done. I think football's evolved, and he's literally can't catch up. Yeah, he can't catch up. I think he's literally finished, but he's not scared to just say it's your fault. Like as players,
that was Pogba, didn't he?
You ain't playing how I want you to play, and you're not doing what I'm telling you, so we're going to lose. And that is it. That's his attitude.
But it's actually quite similar to the not similar to the way Leeds play, because obviously, but all it takes is for one person not to do their job, and you're fucked.
Yeah, but it's the players want to do the job for Bielsa.
Yes, that's exactly right, because it's different man management, isn't it? It's a different man management.
Ask Jamie O'Hara. He's going to Tottenham, isn't he? Because they're a bigger club.
What an absolute plank he is, by the way.
I've never liked him, to be fair. That just made it worse.
He's
clickbait FM. He's a fucking donut, the geezer, mate. I don't know how he gets a job, to be honest with you. He was just fucking shit player and all.
Played against him a couple of times.
He's what we're saying as well with Mourinho. Like I do think he's lost his charm with a lot of like his ways. Like you said, he is a slight dinosaur nowadays. But do you not feel like you said, you trust him a bit more going into a one-off game. Do you not think if this whole financial reason behind the sacking is the truth, which to be honest, it probably is, do you not think it's worth swallowing a bit of a hit in order to potentially win a trophy? Like, especially when you've not won a trophy for quite a few seasons. It's
it goes back to, I don't think Levy gives a fuck about the club. I honestly don't. He doesn't care. The fans would love to see silverware all day long. And if it meant keeping Jose Mourinho for another week, and if it meant the club paying him an extra 10 million quid, we'd take it all day long as a fan. Daniel Levy, unfortunately, isn't he claims to be Tottenham, but he doesn't have the club or the fans in the best interest. Yeah,
he's an accountant, Ginge.
Yeah,
they all are.
You're saying about so be it. Give him another 10 million if we are in the top. Like say at the end of this week, you would have been in the top 4 and you've won a cup final, and you would have had to give him another 10 million. But Levy don't want to lose another 10 million out of his pocket, mate.
It obviously points to the fact that they've got someone lined up, I think, because you wouldn't make that call and leave yourself in the lurch just to save that bit of money. And I also think that he would have been worried maybe that Mourinho would have gone and won the cup. And then how hard is it going to be?
It's tougher to sack him, It's tougher to sack him, isn't it, if he wins a trophy?
Yeah.
Because then your lot are going to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
You're looking at another Conte,
I actually think if you look at the two egos as well.
Yeah.
I think the two egos, because apparently no chairman in the Premier League wants to deal with Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
Because he tries to get, whether it be more money or less money for players buying and selling. That can't be right. At the end of the day, if you have to fucking pay over the odds, you pay over the odds, don't you?
If you want
to, if you want to progress, yes, of course you do. But I think his ego got in the way with Mourinho, because he knows that if he sacks Mourinho and Mourinho's ego's to come in, he's a serial winner. He's won everywhere. Has he sacked him so he can't win a fucking trophy?
Yeah. Because otherwise he'd have had that argument. Well, I've won something here as well.
Yeah.
So you're looking at another Conte situation, aren't you?
Yeah.
With regards to he then got paid out extra money because he actually done the job that they brought him in to do.
Yeah.
He could just take him to court and win. If he did win the trophy, he's essentially done what they wanted.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts as well, Gareth Bale? Would you think? Would you class the move as a success, a failure, or a bit in the middle? And how do you think this change of manager could actually benefit him?
I think he benefits us. At the end of the day, I think that if you look at his stats, like his stats are crazy. I read them. I think it was on Twitter the other day. Stats are fucking crazy.
Mm.
He's played less minutes than Bergwijn, Lamela. I forget who the other one was.
Was it Mora as well?
Mora and something. And he scored more goals and more assists than them combined. I don't think it's so much more. I don't think it was Mora. But I just think he's obviously not the Gareth Bale of old, but he's still got that. Look, they finished the other night. How many people in the Spurs side score that?
Yeah.
More of us probably run that out of play, hitting the fucking board, and then falling over. and that's the levels we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's how good he still is.
Yeah,
and
again,
if you look at games today, right, we could get one chance. It could fall to him. To be fair, I was going to say I'll swim 1-0, but there's fucking no chance we can't keep it clean. But there's little fine lines in football.
Yeah.
That you need that extra little bit to get you over the line, and he's got that.
Yeah,
still got that.
Yes.
He doesn't. Again, he's not the Gareth Bale of old. He's not going to fucking sprint past people and things yet. But he's still got that little bit of quality that wins you games. Same as Son and Kane. Because so again, we do still have players capable, but I think I would definitely start him today. Definitely start him.
You would,
because,
yeah.
And again, when he first came in, he hadn't played football in 18 months.
Yeah.
You can train as much as you like. All you need to do is play games. He didn't play games.
And you can see that it took him a while to get going, but once he did, he had that vein of form where he was bagging a goal every week, wasn't he?
And then I think we had all a bad game, and again, he was made scapegoat. And that's what Mourinho did, but he made people scapegoat. Like Dele Alli obviously got the brunt of the first game and didn't recover from it.
Do you think he comes? Do you think he comes back in now under Mason, like automatically, or do you think?
I would love the Dele of old, but for me, Dele Alli, he's believed in the hype a little bit too much. I think he did so much so young, and I think he's trying to do things that he's not good enough to do.
Yeah,
the old Dele Alli would just forget about the ball and just fucking arrive in the box at the right time.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard, for instance.
Yeah.
He could have been as good as he could have scored as much goals as Frank, I think, if he'd have went on the same levels.
Do what you're good at, rather
than
believe
exactly. And again, it comes down to player power. Players get it in their head that, like, if Greg's obviously seen me play, if I tried to fucking knock a ball past someone, I'd be out of my mind because I'm the slowest case in the world. You know what I'm saying? I did what was good. I passed the ball, and it is knowing what you've got and doing that to the best of your ability.
Well, it's like me, mate. There's no way I was getting down the line, past the defender, and knocking it in.
Yeah,
I had to knock it round them.
Yeah,
good touch, get it round them. That's it.
Yeah,
I knew that was the way I sort of played. There's no way I'm taking on my left back or fucking right back.
And that's what I think that he's actually done. I think he's started believing the hype a little bit, and he's trying to do things. He's trying to drop deep for the ball and things. Yeah, he should be making a third man run all the time. Forget about the football. The football will come to him.
Every week, Alderweireld was picking him out.
Yeah.
Do you think Spurs look to sell him at the end of the season, or do you see him staying there?
I don't think you get much for him at the moment.
I think again, that's probably, you wouldn't, like 2 years, maybe 2.5 years ago, you get 50 million for him. Now you probably get 20.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been playing well. It was before Jose. We can't blame Jose for his dip in form. I think the last sort of year of Poch's reign, I think he was poor. But again, we talk about, he has got that little bit of something special as well. Even not playing well, he can get you goals. When he first played the first game against West Ham, I'm saying that little flick, like, how many people have got that in their locker? Not many. He's got it. And I also think he's lost his fucking nasty streak. So I think he used to be you used to see him fucking winding people up all the time. You don't see him do that anymore. I don't know whether it's because he thought he's arrived. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine him at 18. I would imagine him at MK Dons being a fucking horrible prick.
Well, we had Dean Newington on a couple of weeks ago, and and he was talking about him because he played with him there, and he was saying, like, ability-wise, he's the best player he's ever played with. But he did sort of say that attitude-wise, it was great at the time, but it could be something that, like you said, he feels now he's arrived, because he said he sort of had that even back then. He was like, I'm the big dog here. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, once he got given that freedom by one of the managers, I think it was Paul Ince, he gave him that freedom to sort of go and do what you want, express yourself. If you make a mistake, I don't give a shit. Just do it.
Yeah.
And I think he needs someone like that. I can imagine Poch would have been a bit like that with him. Go and express yourself, Dele, because you've got bits about you that can win us games. Whereas Mourinho would probably jump all over him if he tried a little flick and fucked it up. Yeah. And it might even bring him down a bit. Do you know what I mean? He might think, fucking hell, the last however many years I've had these managers sort of telling me how fucking great I am. And now all of a sudden, matey's coming in and saying, don't fucking do that. You've cost us there. You know what I mean? And I don't know, that could have affected him big time as well. You might see him come out the other side of that now. Mason might know a bit more what gets him going and could blow smoke up his arse, and you might get the old Dele Alli again.
It's funny. Do you not think it's funny that Mourinho was kind of bagged as that at Chelsea? Like Frank would say, "Is Gin stalled?"
I think he has. Yeah, he's froze.
He's very still.
But Mr. Dead from Harry Enfield.
But like, Mourinho was touted as that early doors.
He'll be back.
And like Lampard, Terry, and that, they were blowing smoke up their arse. You're the best in the world, this and that, and it made them jump a level. Whereas Dele's gone the other way, where, as you're just saying, if he's getting jumped on for a decision that he's making, you sort of go then within yourself, because if you're getting blown smoke up, mate, you think you're on cloud nine, thinking, I've got the backing of this manager. I'm going to fucking, you know what I mean? I can do anything here.
But
100%.
You look at it on the other side as well. If one manager's been telling you're an absolute worldie, and then he goes, and then someone else comes in, that transition, it's like being the new kid at school, isn't it? It starts all over again, and it's going to take time and time.
Yeah,
Could take months, could take a year to install that confidence. But
yeah.
it must be so strange as a player at top level when you've had a manager like you say, blowing smoke up your ass, and then bang, that manager goes. That transition is extremely difficult.
the belief.
And then
to get that belief back can take ages.
And he's still a young guy.
The press jump on that as well. Players read press. I don't care what anyone says.
Of course I do.
It's hard to ignore. I just think, especially in the context of today's game, even if I don't even know if he's going to start or not, but I just think these things take time. I just don't know if Tottenham have had enough time since Mourinho to recover and go again, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I do think, I don't know how you feel. Are you back? Hello, mate.
Sorry, fellas.
There he is.
Hey.
I just got
Terry was born, mate. Just had to have a quick sleep.
Just going on to the point of Delhi, mate. I don't know how you feel, but do you not think it's a bit of a Jesse Lingard situation that he was getting, onto the clothing deals and getting a bit too much maybe off of the football? Yeah. I think he might be able to deal with a reset and go somewhere else and try and just get back to football.
Yeah,
dude, that's a perfect good example, to be fair. I think again, Jesse's been fantastic, hasn't he, for West Ham?
Yeah.
And I actually in January with the PSG rumours about, I thought it'd be great for him. But again, as a Spurs fan, I wouldn't have sold him. So wouldn't have
just alone.
Give him alone, just to recharge the batteries. And again, I was always a believer, especially in January, that Mourinho probably wouldn't be there. But when he comes back in the summer, and obviously new manager, new ideas, again, him with a little bit of confidence. But because again, I think he has that ability to be it. And again, obviously you said about Lou talking about his arrogance. I think you need that to be a top player. I think you need a little bit of arrogance.
Definitely,
you go a little bit too far, but again, we spoke about it previously. I think your head can get turned at a very young age, earning big money. And of course, again, if he look back and think of these 2.5 years, he'd probably regret them when he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
So well, because he could have went to that next level. Unfortunately, he's actually went backwards in the last 18 months to 2 years for me.
He's gone from playing in the World Cup semi-final, and now I don't think he's not even going to make the squad. He's not even nowhere near it.
No.
And it's like, you were a world beater a couple of years ago, mate.
Yeah.
Well, he was what we were pinning our future on. A lot of it, you know what I mean? Fucking hell, we got Dele Alli in there.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You think in that semi-final, to who's in the squad now, your Mason Mounts, your Sanchos, your Fodens, they weren't even talked about.
No, well, this is the thing with international football. It's something I can never get my head around, especially with England. They've got an abundance of talent, but it changes all too rapidly.
Yeah.
And it's just changing over and over and over.
Because press and players kill each, like they seem to kill each other by players rising up too quickly and being too good. The press jump on them and absolutely fucking kill them. Yeah. Not only press though, like fans.
Yeah.
And then it just seems like players implode and then they're out the door before they've even got a foot in.
But people have to remember that these are human beings like we are. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much that they can take, and I think the scrutiny on them is unbelievable. Like if you get bought for 50 or 100 million and you're not bagging 10 to 20 goals, you're a flop. But what about assists? What about what you do off the ball? Like I mean, it's a lot of pressure for them.
It really is.
That's totally right. And again, obviously. Again, you look at Werner as well at Chelsea, right? He's obviously been called for a lot. He's only 23.
Yeah.
And obviously, we talk about English people. It works the other way for foreign guys coming in. He's only 23, but he was setting the world at Leipzig.
He's got a lot of ability, though.
He's getting into the thing. Like the one he helped me his left foot yesterday. I'm like, oh, fucking. Even I'd have scored that before.
We had tubes on.
It's all about confidence.
When we had tubes on, Pete, he was saying that they're young, they've got no family over here, they're not, obviously at the time they've come in a pandemic, they're not allowed out. They've not really actually grasped the culture, the people. They're just going to training, going home, going to training, going home.
He's close to the club and all, and he knows. Like,
and to have that, like, you know, imagine us going to a different country. I don't care what anyone says. You go to a different country, start a new job, start new people, no family, just going home from work to a hotel, home from work.
Very difficult.
We'd get fucking pissed off. I think we'd get mentally drained.
I'd have a right jolly up.
Depending where you are.
And if I talked about Mason. I come over here when I was 16, and when I did get injured, I found it really, really tough mentally, because all I wanted to do was play football.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. So there is that. But again, it could work in a good way, I think, because you have to be that focused on football.
If you get me. Yeah.
But again, if he was playing well, like I think both of them will come good. I think they're both very, very talented young fellas.
I agree.
So do I think especially Havertz. Because again, he's in the same mold as Ali and Lampard. I think he's a goal getter from midfield.
Which are Palace with some of the touches and
he was excellent on
he could have scored 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because of the positions that he got in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when he come over his thing,
and it was a nearly goal, wasn't it? Like it was like, oh mate, if that went in, that's started his career. That's kick-firing his career. Like.
Well, like back to today's game, Ginge. What's your
Predico?
What's your prediction, mate? And
again, I think we'll have to be. Oh, I've gone again, have I?
No, you're
there.
Have I gone again?
No, we can hear you, mate.
Oh no!
Oh, no, he is. He has. Well, should we go with our predictions?
Yeah. Well, go on, Greg. We'll start with you then, mate. What do you think? And we can get him in while Ginge can't hear us, because then.
I'm back again.
He's back.
He's there. Go on, mate.
That's the problem. Obviously, I've got the kids running about, and I have to shut the door. There's no internet connection. I think we'll have to be at our very, very best, and they'll have to be poor to get something. Again, my heart says Tottenham, but I think it'll be City comfortably 3-1.
Go on. We'll go with yours then, mate. What do you reckon?
I love the enthusiasm, Ginge. I mean,
I'm the best policy, Greg.
I'm a realist, mate. I'm a fucking realist.
Not even a heart overhead sort of thing. It's just literally fuck it.
Before you go, Greg, I think one of your pals, Ginge, is in the comments. George Chambers, Leeds boy. He's put pay your internet bill, Ginge, for fuck's sake. He's gone again. Look.
I tell you what,
George.
It's a bit cold in here. I keep freezing.
Get your coat on, mate.
Yeah. Put your hood up.
Okay, do you know what? Being a neutral, and obviously with everything that's gone on, I can't see anything else apart from a City win, but I don't see it being convincing, because they've looked a bit shaky in the last couple of weeks, even though they've obviously got the result against Villa and whatnot. But it'll just depend. It's a weird one that he's done it. It's such weird timing, because finals are always cagey games, aren't they? Yeah. And it's set up for a Mourinho just defend, and then maybe hit them. But that'll be your only option, is to do that.
Yeah.
Even.
No, I disagree. I don't think we can defend.
Yeah, I think
we were very, very lucky against them when we did defend and beat them 2-0. Yeah. Because they missed a lot of chances. And that's for me is probably the weak point of them. I don't think they finish enough chances.
That's what you're hoping though, Ginge, isn't it? Yeah. You're hoping that they have a bad day.
Yeah.
You can attack them. They could have a bad day and still smash you.
Yeah.
But I think you're hoping that. I think you're gonna try and sit in and hope that they have a bad day, and then try and attack them that way. I don't think you're going to be full out attack. I think you will try and sit in, but you're going to have to attack.
Yeah, I think
you get the right opportunities.
Yeah, if you're going up against City, you're killing yourself. To be fair, I think you have to be a little bit negative, but not negative to not show your flair players, because we've got to have hopefully Harry Kane fit. Bale on a day, Son on a day, because Son hasn't been playing great either. And I'm saying a lot's been deflected away from obviously the way he's been playing. But again, he was sensational at the first half of the season, so he was. But I think we need to be firing. We need our back four to play well, the goalkeeper to play well, and our attackers to play well. So I'm not asking for much.
No, you're looking for a perfect day.
I've got no chance.
It's a chance as well, mate, for some of these players that may not have been sort of performing week in, week out to sort of throw their name in the hat as, look, I am one of the fucking starters for whoever the next manager will be.
Yeah.
Show them what you can do against like the top side in the league. You know what I mean? It's a big stage for someone to really sort of step up, and it could sort of bring someone out. You know what I mean?
I hope it does. To be fair, I hope it does.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a realist. I can't see anything but a City one. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I do. I normally am majority of the time. So that's why I've said it.
Reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology, and you lot say.
Well, out of all of it, though, I'll go 2-0 City, mate. I will. I don't think I can see anything else.
Before I go to you, Matty, I'll put mine in there. I'm going to go with. I reckon there's going to be a lot of goals in this because Mourinho's not there. I think you boys might open up, and I'm going to go 4-2 to City. Go on,
in the KG Cup final, you're going 4-2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be open, mate.
Given my history of correct scores, I mean, it's highly unlikely I'm going to pick this out. Although I have to mention, you haven't mentioned that I got a correct score last week.
You did, mate.
First one of the season. So well done, me. No, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think there's going to be. I don't think there's going to be a lot of goals. I don't think it's going to be a lot of goals in it. I think it's going to be a bit
all
more.
the way to penalties.
I think it's going to. No, I think it's going to. I'm expecting City to win, but I'm going to go 2-1 City. I think it'll be a bit more closer than what people think it will be. I think Spurs will still be cautious, but try and look to catch them out on a break. And they've got, like Gareth said, they've got players that on their day they can hurt them. They've definitely got the players to hurt them. But I just think City will just edge it.
What are you saying there then, Greg? If it goes pens, Dele Alli scores the winning pen.
Oh no, he won't be.
That's if he's in the squad.
Yeah, it's true.
We can get him on the bench.
I think he should be. He should be in the squad, shouldn't he? To be honest,
I think he should do.
He's one of them match winners, as Ginger's saying about Bale. You kind of with Bale, he's one of them players. You start him, and even if he ain't playing great, you have to leave him on because that split second he can win you the game.
Yeah.
And he's for me, Bale's a different. I don't think Ali's the same. I think Ali's the same. Sorry, there's players you can bring off the bench that inject a little bit, and they're normally the quick wingers and things like when people get tired. He's not that. Dele Alli's not that. They're not impact players off the bench. They could maybe get you a goal, but they're not going to sort of change the dynamics of the game.
You need them to.
I think they need to start. Yeah, they need to be in the game to get into the game and things. Yeah. So I think Bale starts. Like for me, Ali be on the bench, but I think Bale starts.
What would you go with as your lineup, Ginge?
Well, I actually liked Moira as a 10.
Yeah.
When I forget who it was he played against. It might have been you guys, Leeds, was it?
I think he did actually.
He played in a 10 against Leeds, and he was very, very good. Because again, him in that position for me, why he can't cross at times. I think he's so quick. He can turn in tight spaces.
Get between the lines,
I think he gives a little bit extra in there. Billy was terrible the other night. So he was. Yeah, but again, he's one I think we've got to start. I would start him and Højbjerg. I would start Tanganga. I thought he was good against City in the last game. I would start him at right back. I think we need to be a little bit more solid. Unfortunately, I have to start Dyer. I wouldn't, but unfortunately, I have to start him because Roland's injured. Toby, and then Reguilón. He's been poor as well. Reguilón, to be fair. I quite like him, but he's been poor. Then I would probably go, in midfield again, and then Billy Højbjerg and Moira, and I'd go Bale, Son, Kane. That would be me.
Mate, that lineup is good enough to win any game against anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's people turn up. I think again, Billy, if he plays there, he's got to work hard. He didn't the other night. He was back to his old self the other night when he first came. So he was.
If Kane don't play, Ginger, you playing up front.
I think it'll probably be a straight swap, and he'd probably go Son up top, and he'd play the Celso, and move Moira wide.
What about your your man Mora, best game he's ever played for you. Where was that?
Ajax. I was in Amsterdam before.
Up front, though.
Yeah, he played it, but it was in the 2 though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
But I did, again, the other night, because he tried it the other night, then Mason tried it the other night, played him up front. It was just coming back, and I think if you do that against City, they're just going to fucking bombard you because you don't get the ball back against them. I think we need a focal point, so we do. And if Kane doesn't start, we may be in a little bit of trouble. But again, you do have the other side. We won't play it up, and we'd actually go a little bit longer. I think if we play without Kane, I think we'll have to. We'll have to try and turn them more than.
Yeah, I don't like Lamella, but if I was a manager today, I'd probably go with him because he's so tenacious.
Yeah,
he would be
a shit house, isn't he?
No, I don't like him. I don't like him.
He's infectious though as well.
Yeah, I don't like him.
He get people going.
He will be hot on it. He will drive your tempo as a team. I think if he was to start, people would be running. Like he would start running and people would follow him. I think that is a way to get us in.
He's a bit of a joker in the pack, isn't he? He's either going to get sent off or he's going to do something absolutely unbelievable.
Rabona it into the goal, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing with him, Greg. To be fair, I think you look at Gaza. You look at Gaza in the cup final all those years ago. Does the occasion get to him and he does something stupid and gets sent off?
Yeah.
I don't think you can risk players like that in games like that because it could make or break you to be fucking at the end of the day.
It could, but yeah, it's just one of them. I don't think he would play if Kane starts, but I think if Kane doesn't start, he might be an option to go with just because the tempo of your team trying to get them up the pitch. I think he could help.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I just think he's loose cannon.
But he is, him and Aurier. I mean, you've got a couple in your squad between them two.
We've got probably 10 of them, I think, apart from Harry Kane. His son's been sent off a couple of times, although highly unfairly. And again, we go back to VR and that. There's been occasions that the exact same things happened. Where the son gets sent off against Chelsea, and nothing's happened again. He's
the nicest bloke in the world, and he's
what for? Yeah. That reaction was quality when he went, what for?
In the documentary, yeah. It's
not a bad impression for you, Greg.
I know, it's not bad. But
she only looking a bit ropey, like the sun, isn't it? It's not on the pitch. What's the crack with fans in there today?
I think it's limited into 4,000, is it?
Is it 4,000?
Didn't they up it? Didn't they up it though? It's not 4, is it? I thought it was a bit more.
Sure.
I don't know. I was originally going to go. I booked a hotel and everything in London. Was going to go.
Oh really?
David, yeah. Because I thought it might have been all about over, but I mightn't have got a ticket. Struggle. I'm not a face anymore. my contacts are all too old.
You better get on the phone to Jeff Taylor. I bet he could get a ticket.
Yeah, he'd get me tickets. Yeah, oh, Jeff. Jeffrey.
I'm just having a look at, what is it? Yeah, 2,000 each club gets 2,000.
Oh, and then there's local residents that they're getting in there as well, isn't there?
Oh, is there?
I thought there was. Or is that another event that I heard that?
Yeah, no, it just says 2,000 from each.
Oh, okay.
From each set of fans.
There's probably another 2,000 corporate. They came with
that's
football
true.
world. That's mad, isn't it? Again, like I think I was reading a stat again on the Champions League final. When Liverpool played Tottenham, there was 16,000 each, and the rest was all corporate.
Yeah,
which is unfortunately the way football's gone.
What atmosphere is that if the fans are not even there and it's just all businessmen?
Yeah.
And you even see it, didn't you, when they come out for the second half? Like after stands fucking empty because they're all in having their dinner and
they're sitting just drinking the whole time.
Yeah, having champagne.
I've been to a couple of corporate events that if it's not the football team I like, and I just fucking sit in the bar.
Yeah, but it's true, isn't it? You would like mental, mate. Yeah, hopefully it sort of adds a bit anyway. Having some fans in there, it sort of gives it a bit more than just a dead silence. Especially in a stadium like Wembley, it's a bit bit dead, isn't it, when it's like that?
I'm kind of used to turning it on and watching it without the fan noise. So I'll probably still do that. And
Yeah.
Won't be the fans anyway. It'd still just be the players shouting.
I must admit, like last night where I stayed up for the UFC, it was their first event that they've had in the States with a full capacity arena. I've missed hearing fans, mate. It was bouncing. You could tell the sort of fans were going mental because they were back as well.
Yeah.
And it added so much. Like it was fucking brilliant just to hear an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait for sort of next season when everyone's back in, and because I think the atmospheres are going to sort of double in what the intensity of what they usually would be as well.
I can't wait for the first VAR controversy. Like when there's a fans in there.
Yeah, exactly.
See riots.
And again, we go back to that. It's become so expensive to watch football nowadays.
Oh,
hasn't it?
Not wrong.
It's become so expensive. And again, it used to be a working class game, isn't it? I don't think it is anymore.
It's not, mate.
Like if you've got young kids and you try and take them to football, you're talking 300-400 quid.
Yeah.
For a day. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's the clubs. That's the way the owners want to go, and the only thing it generates.
It's actually like nowadays. If you can get yourself on a season ticket, you're probably better off buying that season ticket for $1,000 or whatever it is a year, and go to a couple of games, and you get your money's worth, because that cost, just to go to 2 games if you didn't have a season ticket, that would cost you nearly enough $1,000.
And flog your ticket to your fucking mates on the days you can't go.
Yeah, well, this is it. But it's getting on the list, isn't it? On that list.
Yeah, I've say again, I've been a member of Tottenham for 5 years, and it's the season ticket list mental. For us. But yeah, again, we need to. I think was it Simon Jordan talking on the week. Good idea, wasn't it? The old platform for clubs, so the clubs can actually generate the sort of Netflix type thing, so they can do all the broadcasts.
So again, he's been that for a while, mate.
He speaks a lot of sense.
He does. He does. Again, a little bit flamboyant, but he does. He's made a cut. And for Paris was brilliant. I thought the way he spoke on Monday Night Football, he was really, really good. It made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was.
His doorbell was winding me up, though.
Yeah. But
answer the door, will you?
Again, because that then cuts the broadcasters out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, the money generated, the clubs can do it, and whoever wants to watch XYZ can watch it.
Did you hear Jim White? Obviously, I mean, the minute someone says something about Sky or whatever, he is like fucking. Don't talk about it.
Defensive,
Yeah, he wants to keep his job.
He's a twat.
No, I know that.
And it was the same as Monday Night Football, but them two were actually very good, weren't they? And Neville thing, because they said it's a little bit contradictory of what they're doing, what Sky did in, was it 92 or something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But again, they went against the employers. It was quite ballsy of Carragher to say what he said. You know what I'm saying at times, and then obviously Neville talked about what Sky built the game of new training grounds, and so I think it was probably well set up.
He was even sort of like calling for the likes of BT Sport and
people like
it's not just behind it.
It's not just
to get our allegiances, like it's brilliant.
But again, we go back to Bamford. What he said, and the thing.
The nicest leader in the world, Bamford.
But the thing that stood out the most for me, right, is how quickly this get turned around.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got the racism thing, right?
Yeah.
And it hasn't get turned around as quickly.
And the sexism as well.
You've got everything within the game, but this thing get turned around as quick. And the reason why is because every single person was more or less I think every single person was more or less behind it.
Yeah,
that's the other every single person isn't. You know what I'm saying? People see flaws in it or don't agree with it or whatever. Different opinions. Yeah. But it's ridiculous for me. And for this social media thing, what's that going to do?
Fuck all.
Nah.
Like,
unless you start changing people's opinion, and unfortunately, it comes up to the way you brought up. Obviously, again, I look at obviously the race and religion things to me in Belfast. You know what I'm saying? I was brought up in a very Protestant part of Belfast. Never brought up to hate Catholics. Played a lot of football with Catholics. Got a lot of Catholic friends. And again, it stems from that. It stems from your upbringing, no matter what you say, because kids will believe anything you tell them, won't they?
They will, yeah.
And then they'll still believe it. And it's the same with race. It's the same with everything. And unfortunately, until that fucking stops, it'll always be there.
Yeah.
But again, I hope it gets better, because again, I've got a lot of friends that are of various races,
Yeah.
and that's all they are, friends. At the end of the day, if you cut people, they bleed red, don't they?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
So why
I
are they
hope so,
different? They're not.
Oh, is he gone again?
Oh,
no.
Put your 50p in, Ginge.
Gone again.
No, he's there. He's there.
Love it. Right, well, boys, we'll cut that there anyway. Lads, thanks for coming on, boys. And
Of
Yeah,
course.
mate,
Enjoyed
all
it.
good.
cheers for
again,
joining
guys.
us, Ginge. That was fucking quality, mate. And good luck today as well.
Good luck today, Ginge. You're going to need it, mate.
All right, you don't need that, Matt, do you? You don't mean that at all. At least Terry means it. At least Terry means it a little bit, being a Leeds fan.
I don't want to say too much, because if you win, I might not hear the end of it. So
We'll get back on for a celebration, man.
Yeah, pending a second special. We're pending it at a minute.
I'll come on if you lose.
Yeah, we'll do one at 6 o'clock or 7:30 tonight. Just me and you, so I can fucking wind you up.
Brilliant.
Before I'll probably be with hibernation by then, I think.
While we've got like there's a few Leeds fans in the comments. While we've got them on as well, boys, predictions on that game today. How do you think it will go? I know we've done it on our podcast.
Where is it? At Ellen Road?
At Ellen Road,
No,
yes.
still
To be
not,
fair,
no.
it's the biggest game of the day, regardless of this, isn't it? Leeds Man United.
There's a massive rivalry already for us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah,
mate,
massive
yeah.
rivalry. Yeah.
Probably it's got to be the most missed fixture probably
Oh,
in the calendar, I would say.
Yeah.
Since they come back.
Well, definitely for the two sets of fans, I think.
Yeah.
big time.
But again, I'm gonna miss it really.
You even had Neville this week when he was talking about it, because you've got this whole new wave of Man United fans that don't really understand like their proper right. They think, oh, City now are our biggest rivals.
No,
and whatever.
it was
not.
always Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, and he even said, he was like, it's Liverpool and Leeds. They're our biggest rivals. Like, this is the game. Do you know what I mean? This is one of our big, and you can see how they reacted when we played them earlier in the season. They were so up for it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's because of Solskjaer as well. He played when
he gets it, doesn't he?
he's been there when we was at the top with him. You know what I mean? So he knows what it's about. But that could be a good fun game again today. Hopefully they.
What time's that on, Tel?
What's that, mate?
What time's that on, that game?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, isn't it? There's one at 12.
Hopefully they're not 2-0 up after 3 minutes this time.
Oh,
That would help.
oh, McSauce.
Fuck's sake.
I think they've been very, very lucky.
They have.
I do. Okay, again, they're not pulling up trees. The only team that are Man U've been consistent, but haven't been playing well consistently. The only team playing well consistently is City at the minute.
Yeah.
They've just been the best of the rest of a worst bunch this year.
Yeah.
But it's been such a funny year.
I think inconsistent bunch. There's been a lot of you've watched Everton at times have looked decent. Arsenal have looked decent. City have just been blowing people away. Liverpool again. You think that the Palace, you watch Liverpool in the Palace game, you think, oh, they're back, and then they went off a boil. It's just been, as you say, Greg, it's been such a weird season.
Oh, mate, yeah, they haven't even been truly consistent, United, but yet they've just been the more consistent out of a bad bunch and just found themselves sitting second.
But again, so many games where they were the worst team.
Yeah. But again, we go back to the game changers. They've got Pogba. Like, how many times he dug him out? You know what I'm saying? Fernandez again. He'll dive and get your penalty. Cavani's again. I watched it again. Obviously, when he was playing in foreign leagues, it didn't really watch too much of him. But when I sit and watch football, I actually look at it. But his fucking movement is unbelievable. You would love to, as a winger, as a midfielder, you'd love to play with him. He's always on his shoulders, coming.
I saw him play live when Arsenal played PSG, obviously Champions League. That was a while ago.
Fucking right, it was. What was that? 1990.
How do you remember that, mate?
Yeah.
Oh,
when he was a little boy.
Mr. Anfield over here at the bottom. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Go and take a picture of it, mate. Go and take a picture of it. Going back to Cavani, his movement between the line is just wow.
Yeah.
Right, mate. Go back to bed, son.
Done you there. But yeah, we'll end that there anyway, boys. Like I said, thanks for coming on. Thanks for everyone who's watching as well. Make sure
cheers,
you
guys.
slap a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, guys. And yeah,
And then send Greg a picture of Anfield while you're at it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm Tottenham today. I'm Tottenham. Look,
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Spurs today. Spurs today.
Cheers, boys. All the best.
Cheers,
Right,
Jim.
guys. See you there.
See you later, boys.
Bye.
Off or?
There we go. No, I've kept this